This improv story is based on the idea a woman goes to a library. Let the story commence. Oh, that's right. See, because when is Halloween? It's it's the last day of the week, Sunday. Creepy stories all week. Woman goes to the library. Let the story commence. Mary went to the library. She'd not been to a library, she'd not been to any library for about 20 years. She thought, I'm going to go to, because now and again it would say library close and support, they're shutting the libraries down. Support your local library. And she thought to herself, I never actually go to a library. Is there any need for libraries anymore? What's the point? And then she thought, about it. Libraries are good. You go there, the smell of libraries, there's things happening in the library. You can just sort of pick up a book and just look about, and it was nostalgic for her. Going there and going, oh, can I get a library card? You get a library card, and then you get a book, and you got to take it back by a certain time, and felt good. She went to a local library and said, hi, it's really dusty smelling. And she said, one of these old ones, one of these kind of modern ones. She said, hi, I've no used this library before. How do I go about renting or hiring? Or I don't even. It's been that long since I've been here. I don't even really know what the words are. And she said, "Oh no, we don't do that anymore. It's fine if you could just show us any ID. That's good enough. That's fine. It's on computers now. All right, good. Is that all right? We should have a driver's license. That's great. That's great. That's great." Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, you go. You just want to look about. I'll just fill in this form for you if you just want to. If you just want to go and look at some books, I'll just get this finished for you. Oh, thanks. And she started looking at some books, and then it was all kind of modern shelving stuff. But then up the back of the hotel, it was all hotel. This wasn't a hotel, this is a library. Who said hotel? It's a library. Looking up the back of the library, it was wooden, old-fashioned wooden bookshelves. None of this sort of like IKEA-looking stuff here, and metal shelving units. Old-fashioned wooden stuff with old-fashioned looking books up the back. She went, oh, I'm going to go up there. So she went up there and took out some like old books. Like one was like Frankenstein. Oh, the pages were like brown. Fucking must have been about 50 years old. Like. You know, she was sniffing the pages. And she fucking took her right back, man. See, the smell of a book took her right back and reminded her kind of like a school. And she turned around. And everything seemed a bit older. And she took another sniff. And she looked, and everything was older again. She looked at, see the woman who had served her. See the woman at the counter, the librarian. I say librarian. I don't say librarian. Librarian. But I say library. But I don't say library. See the librarian. She was an old woman. Now she was a younger woman. She was a woman in her 60s. Now she was in her 30s. And she looked the same. It was her. And Mary walked at her and went, excuse me, I'm a bit confused. I think maybe somebody's put some sort of drug powder in the book up there, because I'm having a hard time right now. I'm hallucinating. I think you look like the woman. You look younger. And the librarian went, that's the power of books. The smell and the power of books can take you back and take you away to other places. And Mary went, are you telling me if I walk out the door right now, I'm transported back in time? She went, no, only in the library. And it doesn't last forever. It just lasts for a while. She went, right. So she went to the library window. She didn't walk out. She went to the library window and looked out, and everything looked old out there. But remember, the librarian said, if you go out, the spell is broken. And Mary looked out the window, and there she saw this other woman called Sally. Well, it was a lassie, actually. But 14. And Mary really didn't get on with this. Sally was her pal, but then she betrayed her. Mary told her in confidence that she actually fancied, her brother Beyond actually fancied the keyboard player and no Nathan. She told her in confidence. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This has gone back to the late 80s. There's Brother Beyond, right? Mary told her pal in confidence, back when she was a teenager, that she didn't fancy Nathan. She actually fancied the keyboard player. This cunt. No him, but him. No him, but him. Let's have a closer look. She said, can I tell you something? I don't fancy Nathan. I fancy a keyboard player. And her pal went, hey, do you? But don't tell anybody. I won't. And then she told everybody. She went into school the next day and everybody was like, hey, you fancy? And then the school pointed out there was a boy that went to their school who looked like the keyboard player. So you fancy him? He's fucking Hackett. He's minging. You fancy him? And Mary, inside the library, saw Sally out there. Back when she was, younger. And she chapped on the window. And Sally went like that. And Mary, who's older, this older woman went. And Sally went. And then pulled out some money. And Sally went like that. And then went to the door. And Sally came in. And the second she came in, she thought, Mary was thinking, is she going to come in and then she's going to suddenly age by 30 years? Like to meet my age? But Sally came in and she was still 14. And Sally went like, what is it? Who are you? You pals with my ma? And Mary went like, remember me? And she fucking grabbed her hair. What are you doing? And the two of them are fucking grabbing each other's hair and kicking each other's shins like that. Fucking let go. Fuck off. Pure turning the hell like that. Fuck off. Ah. The two of them are just like that. Gripped on each other. Ah. Fuck off. Ah. Kicking the shins. Fuck off. Ah. Fuck off. What you fucking doing telling every cunt? What you doing telling every cunt I fucking fancy time you said you weren't gonna? I fucking I don't even fucking know you. Fuck off. Ah! The librarian had to come here and go like, break it up you two. You to that Sally. That Sally ran away. Fucking hell, falling out everywhere. Shins. Fucked. And Mary was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Mary's hair was all fucking falling out. Clumps of it, man. Clumps of it. Fucking scratching the fucking face. Shins all fucked. And she said to the librarian, she fucking told everybody that one. Mary... Librarian said, I don't want to hear it. You've fucked this all up. That's not what this place is for. I've cancelled your membership. You're barred. And Mary walked out the library. And when she walked out, she was back to present day. And she looked back to the library. The library was shut, everybody. It was all boarded up. And Mary had a wee walk about. And she's like, this is where I grew up. See, she grew up there and then she moved away and then she came back sort of like, kind of. And she saw a woman walking down the street. And she was like, here. Is that Sally? And it was a woman, this woman by herself, with a kind of tartan trolley. You know, one of the trolleys. Shopping trolley tartan. That's the one. Kinda like that there. That's the one. One of them. Even though she wasn't that, you know, you're not meant to have something like that until you're 70. That style. That's a kind of old fashioned. It's like that sort of, you know, hang you tie in there, like you're in Coronation Street. It's not so much you do that when you hit a certain age. That's from a style from a certain time. But there she was. And Mary went like that. Sally. And she went, aye? She went, Mary. And Sally went, Mary. Wait a minute. You look like the woman who... And Mary went, what? And Sally went, oh, nothing, I suppose. And Mary went, can I just say, Sally, I forgive you. And Sally went, for what? She couldn't remember. It was ages ago. And then Mary just went like that. That kind of annoyed Mary, actually, that she'd forgotten. And it wasn't in her head the way it was with Mary. And she went, actually, you know what? I haven't forgiven you. I fucking told you. And just as she was about to get on with it, stuck right into her. She was thinking about pulling her hair again. Sally went like, hold on a wee second. Hurry up, you! And a man came running up like, sort of like with bags. And you know who it was? It was the keyboard player for Brother Beyond. And you know what he was like? He was like Biff for Back to the Future when, like, at the end of the film, when Biff's a pure dafty. He was like this. Let's just do Biff end of film. There we go. No, that one. No, that one. I kind of like that. You kind of like that. You know when he's like, I'll just get another shine. Oh, I must have. He was like that. And Mary went, actually, you know what? I do forgive you. And Mary, ready to walk away, said to Sally, just to double check, you mate, are you the keyboard player? Keyboard player? Are you the keyboard player from Brother Beyond? And he went, keyboard player? Did you mean to say? And she went, aye. And he went, aye, how? He was speaking Scottish accent now, even though he's English. And she went, nothing. And she looked to Sally and went, and walked away. And as she was walking away, as Mary was walking away, Sally was like that. Hurry up, you, to him. Like she was embarrassed with him. Embarrassed to be with him. And Mary looked at the library. And even though it was all boarded up, there was one bit that wasn't boarded up. And it was a librarian in the window, like this. Like when the knight at the end of The Last Crusade is doing the kind of wave thing when everything's all crumbling to pieces and the whole library came falling down. Hold on, I'll just show you. Last Crusade. Let me just show you. Like that, look, in the window. As the library was crumbling down and falling to pieces, the librarian did that. And there was a few wee guys in there that had been sort of like, that broke in because it was like abandoned, and they were killed in the with the fallen debris. The end. They should have been in there. It was clearly, the sign was clear. But they couldn't read it because they weren't spending enough time in libraries reading. The end. So there's a moral to the story. There's a true, absolute true story. Because one got out. One got out. One of the wee guys got out, and that was me. And I was watching all the events. I saw the whole thing. I couldn't believe my eyes. I got out. And ever since then, I have been reading so much. Books are amazing. Books have got the power to transport you away. Like if you were to read a Stephen King book, you'll get transported away to some wee town in America, and you'll find out that this street, the person walked down that street, and then across to Delacroix Street, and then across to New Haven thingy, and then a community centre that was opposite this, and it was that, and then naming some fucking songs, and then down this street, and then turn the corner to that street, and then out to this one, and Maine, this, and you get transported away to a teacher or a writer who's struggling Am I right?